Good afternoon and welcome to our end of week parent, community and carer briefing. It is Friday 27th of November. I'm recording this around 2:30 in the afternoon. I want to talk to you about three key things really. Firstly, our upcoming inset and how it links to upcoming events around progress evenings. I want to talk to you about an input we're doing with regards to reading in years 8 and 9. And then it's probably appropriate to give you a safety update given the times that we are living in at the moment. Okay, so we have our fourth inset day this coming Monday, the 30th of November, and it falls into two key parts really that I'd like to draw your attention to. So it's the fourth of 5 days that we'll have. We have the extra day in September because the school is obviously set up very differently at the moment, and probably in the late spring or early summer, we'll take our fifth training day. We'll again give you a minimum of a month's notice around that. So day 4 is very teaching and learning focused, and the teaching focus it is looking at is our use of remote learning. So being able to teach in a virtual platform. Now we've already had a significant trial of this because we have a 20 plus students in year 8 currently out. In a bubble of self-isolation, and we'll be assessing how well we've delivered education to those young people. This is around how we use remote teaching for the COVID period, so being able to be as effective as we can be as teachers in the classroom and in a virtual forum as well. And the layers of training to that with all members of our teaching staff and teaching support staff. Now, within the day, there'll be 2 things for parents to log into there. And within Mr. Smithson's letter and further communications from Mr. Smithson, that should be quite straightforward for you to access. But there'll be an assembly note from me early in the morning, 9 o'clock for you to log into. And then later in the day, around what would be period 4, there is a live learning event. And that's to give you an example across the whole school of what live lessons online will look like. So that's pretty much the big investment in the day. Staff are set up for that, the training events are set up for that within school, and all teachers will be on site. Children will be at home, able to access a lesson later in the day. The second part of the training on that day is around virtual parents' evenings. We're very curtailed, as you know, around any events or extracurricular events we could run, but we have 2 key events coming up, and that will be Year 7 Parents' Evening and a Year 11 Parents' Evening. And on both those occasions, we will be delivering those Parents' Evening appointments virtually. Now, there's much more information to come on this, which gives you the specifics of how it's going to work for you, how you access it, how you make an appointment. So that information will come after the day. But on Wednesday, the 16th of December, it's Year 7, and prior to that, Thursday, the 10th of December, is Year 11. Okay, this will be confirmation of all the dates, and what you'll need to do will follow. But that basically puts together the training need on that day that intends to move the school forward and the experience for the students and for parents. And looking past the COVID period, we're pretty intent on making forms of remote learning part of the way we do it. Okay, we think it's got huge potential outside of this period to reach out to students at different times in different ways to help them catch up if they've got any sort of learning gaps, or to really extend them if they've got particular skills, interests, abilities, and to really take subject content further. So there is a long way to go with it. We are fully engaged with it, and we think it's going to make a real difference to our school and therefore to your children. Okay, second thing then, within our school we have Read to Succeed, which is the sort of the tagline of our reading strategies. We've run a pilot this year with Year 7 in the bubble setup that when there's a transition of a lesson, it's drop everything and read. You know, children will just read either a class book or an individual book whilst the teachers change over, because whether you're aware of it or not, in the bubble model, children don't move and teachers do, and that is very, very different to how we normally set up. Now, we've had really good feedback from teachers, we've had good feedback from the children, and we've certainly felt that calmness and seamlessness at transition within that year group. So from Tuesday the 1st of December, we're rolling that programme out to all students in Year 8 and all students in Year 9. with the idea that over the next 3 weeks towards Christmas, we really work on embedding that and seeing it as a positive cultural practice in terms of literacy, so that when we come back in January, that is just part of the everyday, and it takes it on from there. It's very simple, it's straightforward, and what it's doing in terms of the thread of literacy through the school is it's just giving more structured time to children reading, and that can always be a good thing. You know, there is a strong correlation between reading ages, reading abilities, and success at school, if only in terms of access to texts. Children understanding the structure of language and what it means for them in a school and exam setting. So that rolls out from Tuesday. If you've got a child in year 8 and 9, please ask them about it, and you know, should they discuss it with you, just please put it into context of why we're doing it and why it's a benefit to them. Finally then, just an update with regards to COVID. We know in terms of national change that when we come out of lockdown, we're in a tier 2 region. That may or may not impact on you directly, indirectly, outside in society. For us at school, nothing really changes. We've gone through another week where we've not suffered any direct disruption from positive COVID tests. So attendance remains higher than national average. We've had the lowest staff absence we've ever had. Incredibly high attendance in year 7, very positive attendance in year 11. So, you know, we want to at least maintain that and push it forward. And part of that is, again, revisiting the simple but serious things that keep us safe. Now, in terms of hand hygiene, sanitise stations and everything else, you know, I'm observing on a daily basis some very good practice. But where possible, could you please, you know, just for the sake of it, talk to children around appropriate use of face coverings? No one I've spoken to enjoys the experience, but again, it's something that now is mandatory across all schools. That is maybe a little detail in helping us keep transmission rates, certainly in our setting, incredibly low. The other thing that I think is important that we should look at is just the whole thing around COVID fatigue, and that is the drills and the structures that this has brought into us. You know, people are tired. I'm very conscious it is very wearing on people. You've heard the same messages I've heard in society. It appears that in the medium term now there is light at the end of the tunnel. I just don't want anything to happen to any of our people. So just keep reassuring them where the end is, where the positivity is in the new year, towards the spring and summer, and that it's so important that we just stick to our basic systems here, our hygiene systems, and look after each other. They're the two things I think I've noticed. You know, face covering slipping down occasionally, and just a general weariness of why are we still doing this. It is worth it. It has got us this far, and hopefully we can continue to do that. So things continuing very, very positive in school. A lot of good success as I walk around the building every day, and hopefully other side of the new year, many of the positive stories to share with you, as some of the work we're doing behind the scenes can come to the surface, and you can see for yourself, and your children can see what that means in terms of extending a very positive curriculum experience. As usual, please get in touch with us if there's any concerns, any questions, or anything you'd like to put forward to us in terms of ideas. Good to speak to you again. Look after yourselves, stay safe, and speak to you next week.